Hey, what's up, you guys? It's Connor, and today I'm going to be talking about Loki's Wolves by K.L. Armstrong and M.A. Marr. K.L. Armstrong is a pen name for Kelly Armstrong, and M.A. Marr is, I think, Melissa Marr, if I'm getting those names correct. So they decided to work together and form this middle grade trilogy. So what originally made me pick this book up was that I had recently just read The Sword of Summer by Rick Riordan, which is the first book in the Magnus Chase series. And I was like really loving all of the Norse myth and learning about that kind of stuff. So I figured I would pick up a couple more books that have Norse mythology elements involved and kind of learn a little bit more and maybe some different viewpoints of the Norse pantheon. So in this book, the Norse gods died a long time ago. I don't think they really know what happened to them. I think they just ended up getting killed or killed each other or something like that. And all that's left of them are like artifacts and their actual descendants, their children's children's children. You know, all of these people are great to the X power children of all of these Norse gods. And all of these children end up having some type of ability. Sometimes they don't get one, but most of the descendants have some type of power that they got from their godly ancestor. So this book follows a couple of different perspectives, one of them being Matt, and Matt Thorson is the descendant of Thor, and so he is bigger than normal people, and he is a little bit stronger than normal people, and he has this thing that, he has a necklace that has like a tiny version of Thor's hammer, and he can use that to do like some magical ability. And then the other two main characters are descendants of Loki, and one is named Fenn, and the other one is named Lori. And so it follows all three of them as their world is pretty much turned upside down because Ragnarok, the kind of apocalypse of the Norse pantheon myth story, is about to happen. So the powers of all the gods have now started to become present in the youngest people of the descendants. So all people that are like ages 6 to 16. All the gods' powers are being awoken in children around these ages. And so Matt is obviously going to be the one that is chosen for Thor. And so he has to try to go around and collect the other descendants of the other gods and get ready for this big event because they are going to have to defend the earth, and Matt is going to have to defeat the snake, the evil snake thing, and stop Ragnarok from happening. That was kind of a long explanation, but necessary. So I ended up really enjoying this novel, and I actually rated it the same as the Magnus Chase first book. I really liked all of the elements involved. I feel like it taught the Norse myths a little bit better, possibly, than Magnus Chase did, and you really got a feel for a couple different versions of the myth. I think that's what I really liked about this book, is that they're not stuck to one type of story. Like, I feel like in the Percy Jackson books and other mythology books that I've read, they kind of stick to one particular version of a myth, but obviously there are multiple different versions of each story, and so these characters get to pick what kind of myth they want to fulfill and what kind of story they want to have and what kind of things that they want to do. So they can pick their own fate to a point, which I thought was really interesting. I think one of the best things about this book was the characters. I really liked all the characters, and I really liked the messages that each character taught the reader as they went along. So the main character, Matt, he's kind of your stereotypical middle grade character where he has a lot to prove. He is the black sheep of his family. He's not as well liked as the rest of them, and so he is trying to just make his parents proud, and he's having to deal with all of the self-conscious thoughts of trying to achieve these goals that his parents have set out for him that are kind of unrealistic and based off his siblings and not him. Finn is kind of your character that's down and out. He's an orphan. He is passed from one family member to another, and so he has a lot of trust issues, and he clings on to the people that he does trust very heavily and very hard. And so in the book, he's trying to deal with the fact that he has to open himself up and really start trusting people, and that he doesn't have to do everything by himself, and he can actually rely on other people to achieve his goals. And the other character being Lori is a character that's kept in the dark, so she's playing catch up, but she's also trying to prove herself that she is more than just this fragile girl that everyone has to protect. She is trying to prove that girls are just as good as guys in everything. And so I really like that message. I think that that's one that's really important for middle grade readers, especially young girls going through puberty and boys going through puberty as well, to realize the fact that they are not better than girls. So this story is filled with a lot of good messages that I think that middle grade aged people should read. So I think with most Norse myth stories, and it's gonna have something to do with the end of the world and Ragnarok. Actually, most middle grade books are about the end of the world. So this one is no different. I wasn't surprised by what the main problem was, but I think that the way that it was handled was done very uniquely, and I really appreciated that. And so I think that the plot was actually really good, and I think it was super fast paced. Like, there was a lot of stuff happening, and it was done really well, where they dealt with one problem and then dealt with another problem. And I think that the secondary characters that were introduced as the plot went along actually made a lot of sense, and it actually ended up being really good, and it worked together really well. That didn't even make any sense. The one thing about this novel that I thought kind of could have used some work was the writing. It is co-authored, and I don't really know how people co-author books. Is it just one person has the idea and another person writes it, or do they switch off which chapters they write? But the way that this book read, I felt like I could hear two voices telling it. It wasn't just smooth. Like, I could feel like I could tell when one author was writing and the other one was writing, because they had two different styles and they focused on two different things. So that was one thing that kind of pushed me out of the story, was like, oh, it is reading differently than it was before. So that's one of the things that I felt could have been improved within the book, and one of the things that I'm hoping will improve as the books go along, because I think the next two are already out and it's just a trilogy. So I tried to think of more faults, but I couldn't really think of any, and that's why I ended up giving this book a 4.5 stars out of 5 stars. I really, really, really enjoyed it, and I cannot wait to read the next two books in the series and see how everything is going to turn out. The way that the first book ends really makes me want to read the next two, and I love when that happens, so I'm definitely going to be getting the next book pretty soon so I can read it and keep going. If you think you're going to check out this book, please let me know down below, or if you've read it, please let me know your thoughts. I would love to hear them, and if you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up, and I will talk to you guys next time. Bye!